partner. A new look Bradford Northern Stadium looking in extremely good condition, new terracing, new stand seats, and altogether tremendous improvement of what has been over the last years. The Bradford Northern team for this afternoon at full-back is Keith Mumby, on the right wing is Ford, number 3 Donlan, ex-Wigan, number 4 Halliwell, formerly of Lee, and on the left wing Race, at standoff Woods, and at scrum half from Rugby Union Terry Holmes, at 8 is Sherratt, 9 Noble, 10 Jazovic, 11 Graham, 12 Furbank, and at loose forward Fleming. Substitutes Sidebottom and White. The Wigan team this afternoon, game. Players lined out on the wing and right wing, as Bradford prepare to start off the game. So we start of what could be a great game. John Woods takes a low grubber kick. Wigan deciding on to play them down here. Kick back, taken cleanly by Ford. Ford decides playing the kicking game, and a look to late tackle there. Referee has seen it, touch judge has seen it, and Wigan penalised for a late tackle. Been seen by both touch judges. Hanley being sent away. The referee having a word with Graham West and with Hanley, and an early penalty, kickable penalty, could well put Northern into an early lead. Late high tackle. John Woods coming up to take it. Should have no difficulty with this one. Unnecessary tactic there by Wigan. Could well have put Northern into a very early lead. John Woods taking a lot of care with this kick. Stabs at it easily and no messing, absolutely true. Over in the centre, Bradford go into an early 2-minute, 2-0 lead. David Stevenson takes a long one. The referee says it's not taken in the correct place, and a penalty, a petty penalty, taking it from the wrong line. There are soccer markings on from yesterday. So it's a penalty, another penalty to Northern. A little bit, one feels that that's a little bit petty, and there must be a very strong wind because that kick went backwards, lifted it high. Be noble to restart with the tap penalty. Doing the run around, Holmes bringing it inside onto big prop, number 8 Sharrett. Wigan go in and bounce him down on the halfway line. The two sets of lines, the blue lines and white lines. The white lines are the rugby markings, and the blue markings are the soccer ones from yesterday. Noble moving it out, switch of direction. Sharrett again trying to come down the middle. Wigan forwards holding them tight. No ground being gained at the moment, and another penalty for a knee going in on the tackle. A succession of niggling penalties being given away by Wigan, and Ford once more to kick for touch down the Wigan left wing. This time he gains ground 10 yards outside the Wigan 25 as Noble comes up onto Holmes. Holmes switching it again. Sharrett comes charging forward, still on his feet. Wigan having a job to get him down. Niggling going on, and the ball's been lost in the tackle. Both sets of forward deciding they're going to sort themselves out in the early part of this game. Mountain of a man, this number 8 for Edwards, puts it in, and it looks as if Edwards has the ball. Can't get the ball moving, taken by Holmes. Hanley trying to make a run from acting half-back, and all the Bradford team around him. Referees on the spot, and it's Wigan this time who get the penalty for a thump going in the tackle. Both sides trying to sort itself out in these early stages, going in hard and going in non-necessarily legally. A long kick by Wigan takes it to 10 metres outside the Northern 22. Wigan forming a wall as Edwards comes up to take the tap penalty. Wanting them nearer to him. Edwards takes a tap. Case moving it across. Long pass coming out, coming on. Out onto Gill on the wing. Gill sidestepping, beats his man beautifully. Turning inside, still trying to keep in play. Couple of yards inside, David Stevenson moves it to Low. Low moves on to Hanley. Hanley on to Dermot. Dermot turning it back. His pass has gone astray. The referee says play on as the ball goes loose and Northern regain possession. Fleming waiting behind to play the ball inside his own 22. Jazovic comes charging forward, big and powerful. Clears his 22. Noble moving it out. Handed on by Holmes. Northern in the forwards and the Wigan defence holding them at the moment. 3 forwards going into the tackle at a time. Noble moving it out. Woods moves it across the line, and Northern at the moment just moving across the field. Not a lot of penetration being shown as once again it's tight in the forwards, and Stevenson in quickly smothers his man. Northern being held at the moment on their own 22, but here comes a kick behind the defence. Bell going back for it, takes it cleanly, coming in field. Good run by Bell, gains a lot of ground, takes it into the Northern half where he's extremely heavily tackled. Good clean tackling, but hard, tough stuff. The ball comes, Wigan trying to bring it away from acting half-back. Dermot going through, gains 5 or 6 yards. Defences are very tight at the moment as Edwards comes up. Turns it on onto West, and West is bounced down by the forwards. And now it's Northern's turn to come in fast and come in hard. And a penalty to Wigan for lying on in the tackle. 10 metres inside the Northern half. Right in front of the post, straight kick. West Holding the ball, calling over Stevenson, and decides that they're going to kick for goal. 7 minutes of the first half gone. Sand being brought on, and it's Joe Lydon who's coming over to take it, not David Stevenson. Stevenson, Wigan's regular kicker, but Lydon is also a noted kicker. It's right on the 10-metre mark inside the Bradford half, and it's a straight kick. Northern leading by 2 points to 0 as Lydon sets this ball up for the penalty. And the ball, hoots of derision from the spectators, but I think the wind seemed to be very strong down there this afternoon in this bowl. Gill's in the centre, ready to follow this up. He's lifted it high and he's pulled it across the face of the post. So it'll be a dropout from the 22, with Northern still leading by 2 points to 0 as John Woods comes back up to the 22 line. Drops out towards the right wing. Goodway taking it, trying to force his way through. Tattled surely by the Northern defence. Short one onto Case, and Case going in hard. Does the grafting work among the forwards. Dermot out to Edwards. Edwards onto West. West trying to force his way through, and his ball. Pass has gone astray, but Potter's back to take it. Gets him, not a good pass onto Gill. Gill throws one off. A determined, strong run by Gill. And he's still going. Proving very elusive and very powerful as Lowe goes up to act in half-back. Lowe moves it on to Edwards. We're going to have a very poor line out on this left wing, and they have to turn the ball back. And Northern are moving up on them quickly and pinning them down as Goodway dives with the ball. Lydon puts a grubber kick behind the defence. It's bouncing awkwardly and touching goal. Touching goal. It was a rolling, awkward, bouncing ball. So it will be a tap from the 22. Both defences very strong and very powerful at the moment, and the attack is having great difficulty in breaking down the strong tackling. Once again, it's the forward trying to bring it away. 3 Wigan men go in to try and hold them. It's typical of Wigan's play since we got this new coach, Graham Lowe. Ball still tight. As Fleming tried to bring the ball away, Noble moves it out to the left. Holmes turns it back inside. The ball's gone loose and done well to keep it moving. A great break here by Northern as Spurbank was tearing through. Wigan defending back, but Northern keeping the ball moving. And eventually Wigan managed to snuff out a dangerous move. Donlan moves it across onto Fleming. Stevenson, and that ball's gone forward, I think. The referee's going to give a forward pass. Wigan moved into the line out quickly to stultify the Northern attack. So it's scrum down 10 metres inside the Wigan half. Referee keeping the forwards away as Edwards brings the ball round, brings it round on the Northern side before he feeds. Feet are all over the place. As Edwards comes over, shoots out to Wigan. The referee not happy with it. Forwards try again. Weaving and thrutching going on in the front row as Dermot's head shoots out, and then a Northern head comes up. A bit of battling going on, and that looked like feeding, but the referee's given it for feet up. Perhaps he couldn't put it anywhere else. So it's another scrum penalty to Northern, this time for feet up. Phil Ford coming over to take this penalty kick. Down the Wigan left wing. And it slews off the side of his foot and gets no ground at all. Noble coming up. Onto Holmes. Holmes moving along, pass out onto Woods. And Woods, he bounced down right in the centre of the field. Fleming waiting for the play of the ball. Fleming switches it to Holmes. Holmes dumming, turns back inside. Wigan don't buy it. The forwards go in and bury him. Noble waiting for the play of the ball, attacked in half back. Moving it across the field, Jazovic trying to make a break. And Northern finding it very difficult to get through this Wigan tackling at the moment. The Wigan defence has been very good this season. Mumby now comes into the attack and he doesn't make any ground at all. Noble behind to play the ball. Woods just hands it on to Graham. Wigan holding play just inside the Wigan half. This time the kick comes behind the Wigan defence. Gill having to go back for it. Into his own in goal, just outside his try line. He has Hampson with him, sidestepping, but he's being held. And great roar of delight from the crowd. They worry when he has the ball. Wigan acting half-back, just grovels his way forward. Lydon moves it inside onto West. West comes charging forward up to the 25 line before he's down. Flung back onto Lydon. Lydon kicks a high, deep ball. A very long kick by Lydon. Sits up for left winger Race. Race coming inside, knocks off one. Coming wide across the field. Edwards is up there, and Edwards goes in, takes him low. He's still turning and twisting, and good ways up there to complete the tackle. Northern push back as Mumby tries to bring the ball away. Northern push back into their own 22. Poor play the ball. Fleming moves it out towards the left wing. Wigan go across after a strong run by the left centre by Halliwell. Wigan moving in quickly into the tattle. Holmes changing direction, going back out to the left wing, trying to make a break, doesn't quite get through. Looks as if he'd managed to get through. That's the fifth tattle. Northern put a little grubber kick in. Coming to Hampson, takes it beautifully, just as his ankle's taken, as he nearly through there. Woods managed to just catch his hand, the touch judge is on. And a penalty to Wigan for a boot going in the tattle. Lydon to kick for touch from just inside his own half. Make certain of it halfway between the halfway line and the Bradford 22. Edwards coming up. Has Dermot on his left. Dermot who gets it. Does a run around back to Edwards. Edwards running very wide. Straight across the field with no ground gain. Lydon coming up to the acting half-back position. I think he wanted his forwards to come onto it then, and now it's West coming forward. Long striding legs, and they grab hold of them and down he has to go. Short pass, Wigan. Potter driving forward. Switch move there, Wigan have made a mess of it. Lost possession, and now it's hot on the attack from Northern. Wigan tried to move there, which broke down. They were confused, they got completely mixed up, it just didn't work. Northern playing much more orthodox stuff, gaining a lot of ground as they come driving forward. Out to Holmes. Holmes moving it along the line. Mumby going forward. Northern not gained anything with that last move, and now it's Holmes behind to play the ball. Moving it across. Fleming jumping with it, bringing well inside. Bradford moving it across, having to juggle with it. Just tacklers coming in secure and hard. Woods hoists a high one, not very deep, and it bounces back in. Covered by Halliwell. Halliwell running across, puts a grubber kick in, makes absolutely sure, just a yard or so from the touchline when he popped it in. The Wigan to feed. Says he's got to go in again, come out at the back. And a lot of trouble still going on in the front rows and not meeting properly. The referee trying to sort them out. They went in hard, and a penalty to Wigan for the way Bradford went in then. They're not going in straight. Line to kick for touch down the Northern left wing. It takes play to 7 or 8 yards outside the 25. Edwards onto West, he's on his own. absolutely deserted there in the middle of the field. Nobody going up with him as Edwards moves it across. Wigan hesitates. It comes on to Hanley. Hanley managed to move it on to Bell. Bell's beaten his man. Coming inside, but the cover's there to take him. But Bell was quickly away. Comes on to Edwards. Edwards back onto... And it's Case now trying to force his way through. Being held round the ankles. Northern lining up very close and coming in quickly as Potter decides he's going to go charging forward. And he dies with it 10 yards out, right in front of the post. Wigan now in a good attacking position. It comes out onto Hanley. Hanley turning inside, trying to do it all on his own. And he's taken in the 5th tackle. Edwards waiting for the play of the ball. Edwards lifts it high into the air. They jump for it. The ball's loose. But it's Northern who have it, right on their own try line. Trying to bring the ball away. Good clearing run, getting it away from the danger area. And Wigan pushing him back. And all that run has been wasted as he's pushed back towards his own try line. Now it's Sharrett coming in hard. Big, strong forward. The crowd loving that clearing run. Bradford moving it across the line. A good break. Down to the up of the 25, and that was a nice clean break by Northern. Holmes behind the play of the ball. Moving it across. Turning back inside. Fleming moves it back in. And once again they were nearly through in the middle. And that's the 5th tackle. And they're still just outside their own 25. Mumby moves it across. Good grubber kick behind the Wigan defence. Pushes Wigan back into their own half. This is hard, tough, dour stuff. Most of this game being played in the forwards. And these Yorkshire forwards are coming at Wigan extremely hard. Halfway through the first half, Northern still leading by that early penalty by 2 points to 0. Wigan looking very reluctant to get in. And it's out to Holmes. Holmes trying to make a break. On to Ford. Ford's knocked down. The Wigan defence holding him down. There's trouble going on in the scrum. Bit of battling going on among the front row men. And Graham West is underneath, and there's somebody hammering away at him. Looks like Sherratt belting away at him. Sherratt very incensed about something, and it's a penalty. Referee sending them away. Moving, getting both sets of forwards apart. The forwards were coming in at each other at very awkward angles then. And Sherratt and West being called over. Referee going to read the riot act to them. Graham West, tall and lanky. Sherratt. And it's a penalty to Wigan. For Sherratt thumping at West. Lydon to kick for touch. Down the right wing, down the Northern right wing, finds it just outside the 22. Dermott coming up to start with the tap. Onto Edwards. Edwards onto Case, doing the run around. And it's Lowe's come in and he's bounced down, tackled very heavily and strongly. West decides he's going to have a run at them. Goes stirring in, showing that he's not upset by that last to-do that he'd had with Sherratt. Switch to Edwards. Edwards onto Lowe. Lowe gets his pass and the ball's gone astray. Wigan's handling none too sure so far in this first 20 minutes. Ford coming through from behind the play of the ball. Runs into Sean Edwards. Fleming waiting behind the play of the ball. Moves it on to Holmes. Holmes moving it across. Wigan missed. Potter went in. Didn't take him cleanly. Holmes acting half-back. On to John Woods. John Woods short pass. Wigan holding them there. 3 players going in to bounce the opposition down. Jazovic caught with the ball. Moving it out, the switch of direction by Bradford, still trying to keep the ball moving. 5th tackle, and this play is very, very close and very, very tight. Ball not moving out to the backs at all. Mumby Covered by Bell. Bell coming into the centre with an awkward bouncing ball. Bell coming into midfield. Accelerates right in front. Nearly through, just taken from behind by Halliwell. Gill coming up, wanting a run probably. Trying to go through from acting half-back. Puts his head down and charges in. But plays the ball to himself. Taking them on his own at the moment. Territorially, Wigan having more of the games. It comes out to Edwards, onto Case. Case trying to turn it back inside to Edwards, and Edwards can't get through. Dermot waiting for the play of the ball. Moves it on to West. West holding it, decides he's going to go on his own. Hanley moving it across, and the pass has been knocked down. Woods came into the Wigan line out to knock the pass down, spoil the Wigan movement, so we scrum down just outside the Northern 22. Back's not straight. Referee trying to get a tunnel for Edwards to feed. Coming out to Wigan. Referee not happy with it. Got to go in again. Front row not down properly. Sorting themselves out as Edwards puts the ball in, and he's penalised for incorrect feeding. And somebody opened the mouth, and another 10-yard penalty given. Ford will kick for touch down Gill's wing, down the Wigan left wing. And Ford, I don't know whether it's the wind or not, but Ford's kicking is pretty atrocious this afternoon, gaining very little ground from the many penalties he's had. Holmes switches it back inside onto Sherratt. Sherratt being taken, Wigan hanging on, the ball's gone loose. And the referee said he'd shouted held. He said he'd shouted held, and the ball was lost. That's what he signalled. They had Edwards to put it in. And it's Holmes' ball, trying to make a break from the scrum. Can't get through. Fleming waiting behind to play the ball. Gets his passing onto Jazovic. Jazovic running back into trouble. Holmes behind to play the ball. Out to Woods. Woods moving it along the line. And there's been a lovely break. Wigan are in no troubles. It goes out onto Halliwell. And Halliwell is down, and now it's Northern hot on the attack. Not been up here for a long time as Woods moves the ball across the line onto Holmes. Holmes inside, and the ball's gone astray. And it's offside, given him offside. And the ball goes into touch. Good long kick by Lydon. Gains Wigan an awful lot of ground. West is up there to take them on, and West is driving forward. None of the Wigan back three anywhere near him as he tried to go through. Now it goes on to Goodway. Goodway switching direction onto Hanley. Hanley trying to make a break, looking for support. Back onto Edwards. Edwards running into the forwards, bounced down for his pains. Dermot behind to play the ball, moving it out onto Goodway. Goodway straightens up, tries to run back inside, puts his shoulder in, and he's held. Dermot onto Case, Case onto Potter. Potter trying to go through, can't get rid of the ball. And Lorne is outside, couldn't get it to me. Switch of direction by Dermot. Dermot is short, one onto Hanley, Hanley to Edwards. Edwards a long one to Lydon's beating his man. Wigan should be in, and Gill's in at the corner. Open the score, Gill in at the corner. Nice passing by Wigan. Ball well held by Lydon. This pass very well, hung on to it, and all Gill had to do was put the ball down in the corner. So after 26 minutes play, Wigan go into a 4 points to 2. Lydon round the corner from the left wing touchline. Pulls it very badly, so we come back to the centre with a score. Bradford 2, Wigan 4, and Bradford hardly been in Wigan territory. Made some good breaks out of their own 22, but have spent very little time in the Wigan half. John Woods on the halfway line. Taken clean by Lydon, going to put a kick in, play them back down here. Phil Ford is there, it bounces away from him, running very deep, picks it up on his own in-goal area, running it out, and he's forced into touch. Wigan gained an awful lot of ground there as Ford ran out towards the touchline, made an easy target for himself to be pushed into touch. Little bit of kerfuffle going on between Ford and Gill, but that has gained Wigan a tremendous amount of ground. Edwards coming over, forwards not down. A bit of a battle going on between these front rows. Edwards to Hanley, Hanley onto Lydon. Lydon taking round his ankles, looking to get rid of it, but he's smothered. Gill wanting to get on with the game, goes to acting half-back onto Hanley. Hanley holding it, moves in onto Hampson. Hampson trying to kick his way through on the 25 line, can't get through. Bell onto Edwards, Edwards back onto Bell, Bell sidestepping, runs into the cover, no way through there. Dermot waiting behind to play the ball, onto Case, Case goes in with his hand up, turning and twisting, still on his feet, they're having a job getting him down. Just on the northern 22. It comes out to Edwards, Edwards handed on, back to Edwards, Edwards sees a gap, short one onto Goodway, Goodway turns it inside, but his pass has gone astray. Couldn't get the pass inside, it split them open, but Northern will be glad to have that ball again inside their own 22, and Wigan penalised for offside at the play of the ball. Relief for Bradford Northern as Phil Ford comes up to kick for touch. And that's a better kick, brings play nearly up to the halfway line. Half an hour gone, Bradford 2, Wigan 4, as Noble comes up to take this tap penalty. On to Sherratt, Sherratt comes driving forward, West takes him. Hands on to Holmes, Holmes moving a long pass onto Graham, Graham runs into Edwards. Northern moving across the field. Fleming turning round, trying to come through from acting half-back, gains 4 or 5 yards of ground. Graham waiting behind to play the ball. Onto Jazovic, who's had a good strong game, coming very hard onto the ball, proving quite a handful. Long pass, and it's been knocked down. The pass has gone astray as it comes to Donlan. Donlan coming back inside, Ford's gone inside, and Case goes in. The referee says back to 1. Wigan have knocked it down. Numby knocks on behind to play the ball, reaching forward for it, couldn't take it cleanly, knocks on. Edwards to feed the scrum, comes out at the side, has to go in again, Pax collapse. Edwards feeds again, gets it out onto Lydon, who'd switched direction. Lydon slips and stumbles, opportunity lost. As Lowe behind the play the ball, gets it onto Hampson. Hampson being easily taken by the Northern defence. Stevenson inside onto Dermot. Dermot running at them, quite a strong run for such a diminutive player. There's not much physique to him. Case coming through from behind to play the ball, grovels his way 5 or 6 yards forward. Dermot switches it to Edwards, who changed direction. Wigan coming in hard on the burst. Goodway takes it up to the 22 before he's held. Northern tugging away at the ball. They've got the ball off him. Referee says play on. Wigan lost possession on the Northern 22. Northern now moving it across the line. Mumby trying to come down the middle, runs into Lowe and Lowe takes him. Fleming moves it out left onto Furbank. Furbank trying to drive forward. Wigan forwards holding him quite easily at the moment. Long pass comes on to Jazovic. Jazovic being taken this time by two Wigan forwards. Force him down to the deck. John Woods waiting behind to play the ball. Flings it back. Mumby going to kick. Been charged down. This could be dangerous. If Potter can take it, and Potter scored. Charge the kick down. Making it Wigan 8. Two Wigan players up there to charge that kick down by Mumby. He was very slow taking it. And so Wigan go into an 8-2 lead after 33 minutes play. Wigan, who was struggling earlier on in the game, have now got 2 tries on the board, and this should be an easy kick for Lydon, and he makes no mistake to put Wigan into a 10-2 lead to 33 minutes play. Territorially, Wigan have had a tremendous amount of this game. Northern been playing it very tight in the forwards, playing to the big strong men that they've got. Straight to line, he puts in a little overhead kick here, chases it, and he's been knocked down. The referee says play on. I think Lydon thought he was going to get an obstruction out of that, but it didn't come off as Holmes runs out towards the right wing, and he's bounced down by Potter and Stevenson. Acting half-back forward, trying to come through, doesn't get very far. Holmes behind to play the ball. Fleming moves it across onto Mumby. Mumby onto Jazovic. Jazovic a short one. And Wigan quickly up into the Northern line. Stifle the move quite easily. Woods hands it on. Wigan coming in hard into the tattle, and Furbank is caught in possession. Noble coming across. Kick through has been charged down, he's got it back. Could well be back to 1. Referee signals back to 1. There's Fleming regained possession. Now it's Woods making one of his great runs. Gets his pass on to Mumby. Mumby going hard, takes play into the Wigan 22. Now it's Northern, and it's a penalty against Wigan for an offence in the tattle. Lying on, not getting off Mumby fast enough. Absolutely straight kick for John Woods. 8 points behind at the moment. Northern 2, Wigan 10. Woods with a straight kick to take, 20 yards out, just slightly to the right of the post. 5 minutes short of half-time. Woods stabs at it, and it's there, good and true. Northern 4, Wigan 10. Couldn't take it cleanly. Awkward bouncing ball. Stevenson deliberately kept it low. And Ford made a mess of it in his own in-goal area. So drop out underneath the post. Taken cleanly by Hampson, hands it on onto Goodway. Goodway tearing up to the 22. Legs taken from underneath him. Dean Bell onto Edwards. Edwards onto Bell. Bell trying to sidestep his way through. It's well tattled by Jazovic. Dermot onto Case. Case running straight at them, handing them off, still dragging them with him. Dermot to Edwards. Edwards holding it, short one to Hanley. Hanley being smothered, can't get rid of the ball as Holmes comes in to take him. Edwards waiting behind to play the ball on to Dermot. Dermot did well to take that. It was a high pass, snatched it out of the air. Hanley gone to acting half-back. This is the last battle coming up. Lydon going to try a drop goal. It's been charged down. Could be Hanley. Lydon gets it back, shakes out of a tackle. Could be danger here as it's brought back inside to Goodway. Goodway gets it out onto Stevenson. Stevenson coming inside, going for the line. Referee signals back to 1. Wigan with extra 5 tackle, and Hanley battering his way over, and he's picked up and bounced down. Just short of the line. Comes out to Edwards. Edwards to West. West straightens up, tries to go on his own, doesn't get anywhere. Dermot's over for the play, the ball to Edwards. Edwards hands it onto Case. Case looking for support, back to Edwards, going for the line, dancing and jinking. An elusive little run that by Edwards from nothing. He was hemmed in as he got the ball. Plays it back to Dermot, to Lydon. Lydon along, pass to Gill. Gill has to go back for it. Ball's gone back, but that's the 5th tackle. As it comes to Lowe's, not been very prominent. Lowe hoists it. Wigan are chasing it near the line. Mumby takes it cleanly, and Wigan try to force him over the line, but he does well to keep in play. Showed his strength, kept in play, brought it out, so they still have it. Forward trying to bring it away. Case in quickly into the tackle. Noble behind the play, the ball, trying to bring it away. He goes cross field. Slow play the ball. Sharrett now coming away. Wigan go in and meet him. Woods behind the play the ball, making a break on his own, doesn't get very far. 5th tackle. Northern struggling to get this ball away from their own lines. It's flung back to Mumby. This time Mumby's kick is clear. Coming to bat to Stevenson, and he makes a real mess of it. Real mess Stevenson made of that one. Plenty of time to make sure of it. The ball bounced a little bit awkwardly, but he should have had it covered, and that will bring Northern a lot of relief. They were struggling in their own 22. Holmes puts the ball in, he knocks on behind the scrum. The referee says it went back. Very lucky to get away with that one. Comes on to Woods. Woods coming into the centre. Fleming waiting behind to play the ball. Fleming, short pass. Forwards trying to batter the way out of trouble. Doing it the hard way. Donlan moves it across, goes on to Woods. Woods on to Mumby. Mumby moving across, and the Bradford forwards finding it very hard to pierce this Wigan defence. Sharrett going in, managed to get his pass in. There's a big overlap here as Northern attack down the right wing. Taken on to Donlan. Donlan lets the ball go. It's loose on the floor, and the referee says it's a knock-on. A lot of feeling, a lot of emotion in this game. And there goes the hooter for half-time. A very hardly contested half. The half-time score, Bradford 4, Wigan 10. Particularly used extremely well in the first half. He kept pushing Northern back, and I've no doubt that with a player of the calibre of John Woods, we could see similar tactics from Northern in the second half. A good kicker of the ball. The first half, Northern with a lot of penalties, and Ford had great difficulty in gaining any ground at all. In fact, there were times when the ball went backwards. So Wigan playing into the wind. Bradford with it to help them at the backs, and perhaps they will move the ball about a little more. They had to fight it hard in the forwards, and there's a substitution been made. White has come on. I can't see who has gone off yet. 8 is on and 10 is on. And 12 is on. And 11 is on. It could, and Noble it is who's come off, so they could well be struggling with that for possession in this half as the ball comes to Furbank. Just outside his own 22, runs into West. And wrestled down to the ground. by Graham West. Sharrett moving it across the field onto White. White onto Jazovic. Jazovic runs into the Wigan forwards. Wigan forwards hunting as a pack. Flung back, here we go, using the wind. Long kick by Phil Ford. Hampson drops it goes behind him. Referee says play on as Dean Bell picks it up. Must be difficult in that wing. Bell dummies. And he brings it up to his 22 before he's put down. Gill waiting behind the play the ball, having a run on his own. Gets 10 yards of ground before he's taken by White. Short pass. Wigan coming onto the ball hard. Ball comes out onto Edwards. Edwards to Lowe. Lowe turning and twisting, going back into midfield. Sean Edwards running it out, has Case with him onto Case. Case gets it onto Stevenson, and Stevens picked up in the air and bounced down. Bell to Edwards. Edwards straightening up, trying to dance his way down the middle. Bell behind the play the ball. Hanley misses it, has to go back for it. Gets out of a tattle. Dummies to kick, running it out, coming strongly. Then he puts a little grubber kick, which shoots off the side of his foot and rolls into touch. And the wind is extremely strong when one looks at the touch judge's flag. Bolt into the pack, coming out the Wigan side. Edwards just falls on it. Good way behind the play the ball onto Hanley. Hanley onto Bell, who's coming to the middle, onto David Stevenson. Stevenson knocks off one, then runs it, gets his passing onto Lydon. Lydon going hard down the wing. And he dumped and rolled over into touch. Bradford may be struggling for possession, having to play without the hooker. They put White in the middle of the front row. Holmes onto Woods. Woods nearly made a break straight from the scrum. Holmes moving it across. Bradford in possession. Big forward White coming forward. We can go across. The three of them go into the tattle. Long pass onto Sharrett, trying to go through. And a good break by Bradford here. Wigan being backpedal. And Hampson takes his man with a good run by Graham. Takes it up to the Wigan 22. Donlan behind to play the ball. Moves it across the field onto Woods. Woods coming back inside. Gets his pass to White. The line's wide up. Wigan managed to cover. There's a big overlap here as Wigan go inside and the ball's loose. And Case has got it. Case gets up. Well, Wigan were in terrible trouble there. Northern split them clean down the middle. Now Lowe trying to bring it away. Dermott coming over. Behind the play the ball. Onto Hanley. Hanley moves it across onto Goodway. Goodway goes driving forward, takes it, plays it quickly. Lydon quickly away from Acton halfback, brings it nearly up to the halfway line. Dermott onto Edwards. Edwards sees a gap, tries to go back into the middle, and is bounced down by Jazovic. Graham West moves it out onto Hampson. Hampson kicks straight into touch. Aimless, not a good kick at all. So we scrum down 8 metres inside the Wigan half. Holmes to feed the scrum. Puts it in. Wigan have won it, I think. No, it's been kicked back. Holmes out to Woods. Woods onto Fleming. Fleming bringing his centre inside. The Wigan in all sorts of trouble as Hampson was out of position. Some good play from Northern at the moment as they turn on the heat in attack. Furbank trying to go through. It's upended. Holmes behind the play the ball. Moves it on. Onto Graham. Graham sells the dummy, going hard for the line. Line comes across. And they've taken him. And he's over. And Wigan pulled him over. Good run by Graham. This could well level the scores after 6 minutes of the second half. Wigan's defence for once found one thing in the middle of the field. They bought the dummy, but when they went in to tackle him, I thought they dragged him over the try line. back in the game. John Woods levels the score, 10 points each. And looks as if Wigan are going to make a substitution. Wayne is warming up on the touchline. Wayne has come on and West is coming off. Graham West gone off and Sean Wayne come on in his place.
Number 15, Sean Wayne, replaces number 8, Graham West.
Lydon, low along the ground, coming to Fairbank on his own 22, runs into Case, who puts him down. Sherratt's gone acting half-back. Sherratt. White trying to dance his way through. Holmes, a long pass back. Ford hoists the high one, straight to Hampson, takes it cleanly, hands it on to Bell. Bell coming down the middle, running out towards the left wing, out towards, gets it to Gill. Gill outpacing the defence, just as his ankle tapped and rolled into touch. Well, Gill certainly moved up a gear there as he outpaced him on the outside, but he just managed to tap his ankles from behind, and he had to go over the touchline. Holmes puts the ball in out to Edwards, has to change to Gill. Gill changing, turning and twisting, and he has to go down. Every time he tackles, a great roar goes up from Bradford. Wayne trying to come through, and now it's Bradford who are coming in very quickly. Comes to Case, Case running straight at them. Bradford's tails up, they're doing a lot of hard work now. It's Low taking the defence on, and there's some real grim stuff going on among these forwards. No quarter being asked for, and none given. It comes out to Edwards. Edwards to Hanley. Hanley a short one. Goodway's dropped it, and there's a knock on. This is a very, very hard, stern, tough struggle among these forwards. Holmes puts the ball in, Edwards has it. Meg trying to break from the scrum, heavily tackled by Mumby, who'd read it well. Hanley waiting behind the play of the ball. Hanley moves it out onto Goodway. Goodway gains a lot of ground before he's eventually put down. Edwards onto Wayne. Wayne running hard and straight. Case onto Edwards. Edwards to Potter. Now it's Potter. Wigan keeping it tight, and Potter's knocked down in the 22. Managed to hand it onto Dermot. Dermot to Low. Low going for the line. Gets his pass in onto Lydon, and Wigan are held 10 metres out. Comes on to Hanley. Hanley doing onto Edwards. Edwards to Case. There's an overlap as it comes on to Hampson. Hampson to Bell, and he's knocked over the touchline. Just short of the line. Wigan nearly in there, knocked into touch. Oh, it's scrum down, and now Wigan are turning on the attack. Had a lot more fluid football from Wigan in these last 5 minutes. Wigan been getting more ball from the scrum. Bradford Northern playing without the hooker. As Holmes comes round, 10 yards out from his own line, feeds the scrum, it shoots straight out to Wigan, but the referee says got to go in again. Holmes trying again, puts it in, back's collapsed. Holmes trying to bring it away from the scrum, taken by Edwards. Fleming giving his team time to reform. Holmes moving it across the field. White hands it on. Wigan forwards coming hard and meet them. Holmes now going and getting ready for the kick as it's flung back to Ford. Ford hoists it. Could be an awkward one for Bell, but he takes it well. Running up to the halfway line. Long pass out to Hampson. Hampson moves it across onto Goodway. Goodway knocks off one. Coming inside. Strong running onto Gill. Gill going down the middle of the field. Oh, Hanley with him, but he can't get rid of the ball. Wigan turned defence into attack well, then it comes out onto Hanley. Hanley trying to force his way through, hands off one, and he's well tackled. Bell acting half-back. Onto Edwards. Edwards coming back out the wing, and his kick's been knocked down. Wayne's there in time to take it. I think the referee's holding up his hands for the 5th tackle. As it comes to Lyden, Lyden going to kick. Mumby takes it well. Referee shouts play on as Mumby runs across, and Lyden goes across to put him down. Holmes behind the play the ball. Decides he's going to kick. Gill going back for it. Managed to keep it in play in his own 22. Gill coming into midfield. Where is Menace? Knocking off one, still going. Good strong run by Gill, brings it nearly up to the halfway line. Lowe waiting behind the play the ball, decides he's going to go on his own. He doesn't get very far. Bounce down. Dermot. Onto Case. Case running straight at them, right back to where the last play the ball was. Nothing gained. Wigan struggling to get moving. Switch to Edwards. Edwards a long pass out onto Goodway. Goodway trying to go through. There's no way through this Northern defence, which is sure and tight. Wigan try a long kick. That was touched by a Northern player, so Wigan push Northern back to the 22. Edwards to feed the scrum. Ooh, and the forwards going hard. Don't meet properly, still sorting themselves out. White can't get his head down. In at last. Edwards puts it in, and he's penalised again for incorrect feeding. 15 minutes of the second half gone. Scores level at 10 points each. As Ford kicks down the Wigan left wing, hoists it high. And over the touchline, 10 metres inside him. Wigan half. Bradford. On to Graham. Graham moves it on. Hanley's into the tattle. Holmes waiting behind to play the ball. Moves it across onto Fleming. Fleming sends a long pass out to Race. Race coming inside, taken by Dean Bell. Fleming waiting behind to play the ball. Moves it inside to Halliwell. Halliwell hands it on to White. White a long pass. There's an overlap here as Woods breaks up. The referee's given an obstruction. Went through without the ball. And Wigan have been split wide open. Edwards to take the tap onto Case. Case running at the defence. Dermot coming over. Hands it on to Wayne. Now Wayne decides he's going to take them on, and he gains a good 10 yards of ground before he's downed. Wigan doing a switch as it goes on to Goodway. Goodway coming hard. He keeps the ball moving, the ball's loose. And Wigan will be very lucky if they've still got this. The referee says it's Bradford's ball. Little over elaborate Wigan now. Fleming moves it across onto White. White trying to break through the tattle, and Wigan hold him. Holmes hands it on. Look a little bit laboured there, Bradford Northern. Holmes to Fleming. Fleming turning it back inside. And knock on, and probably a forward pass. Little bit of indecision by the Northern forwards. Edwards to feed the scrum. Coming out to Wigan. Edwards gets it out to Hanley. Hanley having to come inside. It wasn't a particularly good pass. Still on his feet as three of them come over and are pushing him towards the Northern line. Played back to David Stevenson. Stevenson having a run on his own. Runs into trouble. Dermot waiting behind to play the ball. Sends it, changes direction. Lyden, a long pass onto Goodway. Goodway's dropped it. Been picked up by Wigan. Referee says it's gone back as Lowe retrieves possession. Lyden to Edwards, to Dean Bell, who's come in the middle. Bell coming in strongly, he's knocked down by White. Edwards to Hanley. Hanley on to Case. Case going up to the 22. Dumming with it, can't get rid of it, has his arms locked. Dermot on to Hanley. Hanley sidestepping, trying to knock them off, still on his feet, proving a bit of a handful here, looking for support, short one onto Wayne. And Wayne's taken in the fifth tattle, 20 metres out. Edwards behind the play of the ball. Edwards hoists a high one. And the ball's loose. Line's going for it, can't reach it. And Wigan trying to push them over the line. The referee says it's a knock-on. So it'll be a scrum down, 5 yards out from the try line, from the Bradford try line. Holmes to feed, puts it in. Holmes has it. Onto Mumby. Mumby trying to bring it away. Edwards hanging on to him. Forwards coming hard onto it again, up to the 22. Holmes behind the play of the ball. Long pass, it comes out, Stevenson's in. Read it well and smothered the movement. Ball's flung back to Ford. Ford dummies. Gonna get caught. Still running it out. And proving very elusive, and he set them up on the attack as it comes on to Furbank, comes up to the halfway line. Wigan hanging on to him, trying to steal the ball. That little dummy from the kick caused Wigan a lot of trouble. Comes out to White. White moving it along the line. Long passes stretching the Wigan defence. As Race is brought inside, he's running into the cover defence, gets his pass in. And Bradford keeping the ball moving well. Wood's going for the line, proving elusive. And he's still on his feet as the Wigan cover defence goes back, puts him down in the fifth tattle. Holmes hoists it high over the try line, and he takes it cleanly, so we're back to the 22. If he takes it quickly, the wide open, and he takes it and he's running it out. Bradford was slow getting back. Hampson took advantage of catching that ball in the in-goal area. Goes out to Edwards. Edwards on to Goodway. Goodway, a short pass on to Gill. Bill still turning and twisting, coming inside. Goes down with it on the halfway line. Lydon waiting for the play of the ball. Lydon moves it out. On to Low. Low going down the far wing. Goodway on to Edwards. Edwards on to Case. Case turning back inside. Gets it on to Potter. Wigan going round in decreasing circles at the moment of being put. Gill's receiving treatment. Goodway lets the ball go. Case gives a dummy. Hands it on to Low. Low going down the middle. Here's Hanley with him, if you can see him. Low going on his own, a long pass. And Lydon's in. That's a good run by Low. And they were so keen watching Hanley that they left the defence wide open out on the other side. And Lydon went in to make it 14 points to 10. Low made a good break down the centre, holding it. He had Hanley with him, and it seemed that all Bradford could think about was to take Hanley. And that they left the defence wide open out on the other side. And Joe Lydon lifts it high and wide, so Wigan are 4 points in front with about 18 minutes to go. Bradford 10, Wigan 14. John Woods in the centre to restart. Wigan 3 players in the in-goal area to try and stop the long one. to Dean Bell. Bell running it out, strong running player, up to the 22 before he's surely tattled. Sean Wayne ploughs his way forward, 5 yards. Dermot, now it's Casey's turn, now it's Wigan who are keeping it tight in the forwards. And Bradford coming up to meet them. Sean Edwards first pass, holding it, puts a little grubber kick in, he's up with it, takes it cleanly onto Hanley. Hanley looking for support, but that was a nice break by Edwards. Edwards up waiting for the play the ball, has Potter with him, gets it on to Stevenson, Stevenson to Gale, Gale coming inside, gets over the 22, and they pull the ball out of him, and he's lost it, and Wigan have got it back. Wigan have got it back, and we're back to 1. Wigan in a good attacking position as the ball comes on to Hanley. Hanley moving it on to Stevenson. Stevenson trying to sidestep his way through. Cover defence takes him. Dermot behind the play the ball. Gets it out onto Wayne. Wayne trying to go down the middle, taking them with him. Goes down 12 yards out, right in front of the post. Switch on to Edwards, going out left, onto Lowe. Lowe coming back inside. Gets it back to Edwards. Edwards onto Potter. Potter going hard and straight. Can't get rid of the ball as Bradford makes sure that he's held. Hanley behind the play the ball, dummying from the acting half-back, and he's well tattled round his ankles in the 5th tattle. Lydon coming up behind the play the ball. Lydon puts a little kick, but it's just straight to White. Straight down his throat. Holmes moving it across. Now we're going to try and hold them there. Second tattle as Holmes goes behind the play the ball. Strong run by Sharrett. Gains a lot of ground. Forward trying to bring it away, coming into it hard. Holmes moves it across the field onto White, coming in the middle, looking for support. Managed to get up to the 22, and that's the 5th tattle. Wigan have retreated, ready to cover the kick as it comes back to Ford. Now Ford gets his kick in, coming straight to Hampson if he can take it cleanly, and he does. Hands it on to Dean Bell. Bell coming down the centre of the field, coming hard and straight. Still turning and twisting, and eventually taken by Halliwell and Furbank, and he has to go down. Potter behind the play the ball. Potter, short one to Case. Case going hard and forward, fighting for every inch of ground. Dermot on to Edwards. Edwards to Goodway. Goodway coming onto it hard and straight. Still bounces one off. Still going. Gets his passing onto Case. Case lets it go back, and Wigan have knocked on. A little bit of indecision there. Dermot couldn't take it cleanly. So we scrum down. Quarter of an hour still to go. Wigan with a 4-point lead. Holmes to put it in. Referee's trying to sort the packs out. Look like feeding. Referees let it go as it goes to Mumby. Mumby taken by Hampson. Donlan moves it across onto Fleming. Hampson's across again for the tattle. It's going to be survival of the fittest this. It's been an extremely hard game, and Wigan have dropped on the loose ball, and the referee's given the knock on. Wigan couldn't pick it up cleanly. Been dropped by White, and Wigan went in and knocked on, so the referee's given, didn't get possession, referee's given the knock on. Edwards coming round to feed the scrum. And it goes, it comes out to it, and the referee says no, got to go in again. This time it's coming out Wigan's side, onto Hanley. Hanley changes direction. Dummies with it, going on his own. Good strong run by Hanley. Gets up to the 22 before he's down. Plays it to himself, bashing his way forward. And the referee having a word with a Bradford player. Said he put his boot in, so it'll be a penalty to Wigan. 10 yards in from the touchline. Wigan 4 points in front. And Lydon going to kick for goal. This has been a very hard, bruising game, very physical. Joe Lydon trying to put Wigan a further 2 points in front, and it's not a particularly good kick. Trying to run it out. Wigan are up there to hold them near the line. Now it's Race trying to bring it away. Gains a lot of ground before he's tackled. A good run from acting halfback. Holmes behind the play the ball. Into the forwards. Case is in, doing a good stint of tackling. Holmes moves it across onto White, onto Woods. Woods moves it onto Jazovic, out onto Ford. Ford coming back inside, running crossfield, and he managed to get his pass in. And Bradford going backward in possession. Flung back, the kick behind the defence. Goodway looking very shaken in the Wigan ranks, limping badly. The ball comes to Bell. Bell coming up to the halfway line, going into the middle of the field. There's plenty of defence there, and they take him, sure tackling. Some of the Wigan players looking a little bit weary as Dermot tries to run it out from behind the play the ball. Edwards is up. Gets it onto Case. Done a lot of hard grafting work, and Case is still going. Strong running by Brian Case. And eventually they force him down. Dermot gets it onto Lydon. Lydon puts a kick behind the defence. And it's a little too far, touching goal. So it'll be a tap from the Bradford 22. A lot of players showing signs of the knocks they've taken. As Holmes onto the forwards. Jazovic trying it, and he's lost the ball. Wigan glad to get that as Dermot gets up. Dermot trying his own, not quite sure what to do. Little bit of indecision there. Edwards behind the play the ball. Short one onto Wayne. Wayne driving forward. Was dying to get that ball back to Edwards. Edwards puts the kick in. He looks offside, Gale, as he goes up. But the referee's given him. He was in front of Edwards when he kicked. Penalty to, and some weary looking forwards among the Bradford set as well, as with 10 minutes to go. Wigan still 4 points in front. Touch has been found. Bradford urging the forwards on, and White took that on his fingertips. And the penalty against Wigan. Holmes going in for the ball. Ford to second penalty within a couple of seconds. Pushes Wigan right back into their own half. 4 points in this, as Fleming comes up to restart with the tap onto Graham. Graham doing a run around, charging forward, and Wigan defence going to hold them. Bad play the ball, but his referee wasn't watching at the time. Holmes waiting for the play the ball, acting halfback. Wigan moving up very quickly as a long pass comes out onto Furbank, and he's easily taken by Hanley. John Woods behind the play the ball. John Woods moves it across. Comes back onto Fleming. Fleming gets his pass in onto Halliwell, and Halliwell can't get very far at all before he's snuffed out. Graham moves it in, across, out onto Fleming. Fleming hands it onto White. White's let the ball go, and it's been dropped. Referee says it's gone back. As the ball's still loose, Wigan are up quickly. Case drops on it for Wigan on the halfway line. David Stevenson to Edwards. Edwards looking for support onto Dean Bell, who's gone into the middle. Bell going strongly, slips it onto Lydon. He's just snatched out of the air, wanting to get up quickly, and they won't let him get up. Dermot onto Potter. Potter charging forward. He's easily taken out of the attack. Dermot Moves it on to Wayne. Wayne dumbing with it. Gets his pass into Edwards. Edwards on to Gill. Gill trying to beat them on the outside. Manages to stay in play. Now it's Wigan hot on the attack. As Edwards moves it inside onto Dermot. Dermot onto Hanley. Hanley trying to go on his own. Still on his feet. Gets out of another tattle. Gets his pass in onto Lowe. Lowe gets it onto Potter. Potter charging forward. Gets his pass onto Lyne. Lyne coming back inside. Lyne bringing it out. There's an overlap. It comes to Dermot. Dermot onto Goodway. Goodway to Bell. Bell's gone for the corner and he's forced into touch. A yard from the corner flag. Well, Wigan played well there, and that's a bad-looking piece of terrain to be tattled on. But Bell forced into touch right on the corner flag. Wigan looked as if they could have been in there. They seemed to have the overlap, but the cover defence came across extremely well. Holmes to feed the scrum. Wigan lying up very flat, both sides lying up flat at this scrum. Ball's in, it's coming out to Edwards. Edwards round the blind side onto Hampson. Hampson's over. Hampson did well. Nice break, blindside break by Edwards. Hampson read it well, backed him up, and he reached out. Elasticated arms, he went over to make it now. Wigan 18, Bradford 10, with about 6 minutes to go. And that looks a good just underneath. Didn't have the height. Some very weary legs out on this field this afternoon. Very, very strong wind been blowing and a bit some hard, vigorous, tough, fierce tackling. Must have taken a lot of steam out of both sides. And Donlan has gone off and side bottom come on for the last 5 minutes. And it's kicked up to Hampson. Hampson looking for Bell, just hands it on to him. Bell, a powerful running straight at them. He bounced down just inside his own 22. Dermot decided he's going to go on his own. Still taking them with him. Good strong run. He was ducking on the tattle. Plays it to himself. Lot of determination in this young boy. Brings it nearly up to the halfway line. Edwards now. Out to Hanley. Hanley having a run. Coming out towards this wing, knocking them off, still going, powerful running by Hanley, and eventually they decide they'll take his ankles. To Bell. Bell back to Edwards. Edwards on to Wayne. Wayne driving in straight, and Wigan can't take it cleanly. Combining well there. The final pass went astray, a little bit low. Potter couldn't take it cleanly. So we scrum down. 8 metres inside the Bradford half. Ford to kick for touchdown the Wigan right wing, and it's a bad kick. Comes to Hanley, to Hampson. Hampson running it out, crosses 22, sidestepping, gets out of one tattle. Hampson still going. Good strong run that by Hampson. Dermot onto Case, doing the hard grafting work of the forwards, gets his 10 yards of ground, fighting for these yards of territory. Dermot again. Short pass on to Wayne. Wayne puts his head down, burrows his way forward. Goes out to Hanley. Hanley moving it across onto Goodway. Goodway gets over the halfway line. John Woods hanging on to him. Lydon waiting behind to play the ball. Wayne knocked down to the ground, but Wigan forcing Bradford back into their own half. That's the 5th tattle. The ball comes on to Edwards. Edwards sidestepping. He's going to get caught in possession. That's going to be the rollover. About 3 minutes to go as Holmes moves it out towards his left wing. Sharrett trying to batter his way through, and Bell has gone into the middle to seal up that move. Bradford now. Dummy coming through, and a nice break there by Graham, and he couldn't get rid of the ball. No one to take it off him. Halliwell moves it inside onto White. White slipped the ball onto Mumby, who's dropped it. And it's not back. Wigan will have this as Goodway snaps it up. Goodway going out to the left wing, gets it onto Hampson. Hampson coming inside, runs into Woods, and they bounce him down. Lydon making a break for McTinab. Oh, and that's a nasty one. That was a very nasty one, and there's another one. Two very nasty tackles in succession. Mumby went straight into the head-high tackle on Lydon, and Hanley going through was also given a belt. That was nasty play. One doesn't like to see that sort of thing. Lydon's up on his feet. Strong holy water the Wigan trainer has. David Stevenson will take the kick. Wigan have an 8-0 lead. Well, Joe Lydon will have a sore jaw tomorrow. Almost on the stroke of time. Bradford 10, Wigan 18. David Stevenson, straight kick. And he makes it 20.
Number 3, David Stevens. And ladies and gentlemen, this afternoon's XGS double win in Bradford Northern Man of the Match Award goes to number 6, John Wood.
Bradford to kick out. Change of direction in the kicks, covered by Edwards, takes it cleanly, bringing Gill inside. Gill loves running down the centre of the field, runs into John Woods, gets away from him, the loose forward comes over to force him down. Dermot onto Case. Case driving forward, gains 8 yards of ground. Ball safely tucked away under his arm. Dermot to Potter, and Potter decides it's his turn, and Potter gained a lot of ground there. Edwards steaming up on his inside, but he couldn't get the ball to him. Long one to Hanley. Hanley trying to go down the middle. Managed to get his passing onto Wayne. Wayne dancing, taking it out to the far wing. Gets over the halfway line before he succumbs to the tattle. Edwards changing direction. Lydon puts the grubber kick in straight to side bottom. Side bottom coming in the middle of the field. And Lydon goes across, takes him round the ankles. And David Stevenson being penalised for niggling in the tattle. Ford to kick for touch, down Gill's wing, down the Wigan left wing. And this time he finds it. Touch judge marking it on the 22. Playing in injury time now as Northern come up for one of the rare attacks. Tight in the forwards, ball dies. Furbank waiting for the play of the ball, turns it on to White. White to Fleming, who's dropped it. Case getting Wigan moving on to Edwards. Edwards on to Dermot. Dermot moving across to Lydon. Lydon's taken out of the game. Gill behind the play of the ball. Running crossfield, going back out to the wing. And he has to go down. Dermot waiting behind the play of the ball. On to Lowe. Lowe puts his shoulder in. There goes the hooter for full time. We will be very pleased with those 2 points, hardly won, and so we come to the final score. Bradford Northern 10, Wigan 20. This is your commentator John McDermott from Odsal, hoping that you've enjoyed the film, which is coming to you from Micron Electrics of Gidlow Lane. Chrome Electrics of Gidlow Lane.